All right, traders, welcome to another video here, and this is DFX, as you all know, and today is Friday, and then 1st of August in 2025, and then today is also a very important day in the forex market, which is the NFP day. So pretty much a lot of people just ask what is NFP and so on and so forth. I'm just here to break it down to you guys. What really is NFP? How can you trade this NFT and so on and so forth. So first thing first is you want to understand what NFT means. Okay, NFT means non-farm payroll, and it's a United States news event that actually affects the market in a very significant way. Okay, now one of the most important part of this is the fact that there will be a lot of volatility in the market and you can actually maximize it. And basically, from my experience, it is an opportunity for you to make a lot of money, but it's also an opportunity for you to also lose a lot of money, okay? Because you all understand the market, it actually involves the two. And then when I say it involves the two, you have to understand that it pretty much means that everything you're doing actually involves losses and wins. Okay, so non-farm payroll is pretty much something the NFP stands for, and then it is a news event like how will I put it now? There are also other news events like the CPI and so on and so forth. Well, how can you see this news? How can you see this news? Which is going to bring me straight to my desktop. Okay, let me take you guys to my desktop, and then while I show you guys how you can trade this news. So all you have to just do is go to your Chrome and search for NFP, or you can search for forexfactory.com. That is where you'll be able to see this, forexfactory.com. Once you go ahead and search for that, you should be able to gain access to it. So now you can see forexfactory.com there, then you can click on that and then go into the the whole site where you see everything you need to see about fundamentals. Okay, now NFP is a fundamental news, and then it's, as much as we have technical aspect of forex, we also have the fundamental aspect of forex. Now the interesting thing about NFP is that it moves aggressively, same way there's this massive move that just happens in the market, right? And it's just something you can easily see. As you can see, how do you now make use of this particular, how do you make use of this particular site? First and first is you want to make sure that you are on the date at which you want to check the news for. So once that is done, you apply settings, and then you will see different types of folders. You see yellow, ash, orange, and red, right? So you want to pay attention to the orange and red. What the orange and red means is, orange means medium impact, red means high impact. Okay, so if you hover around it, can you see that high impact expected? If I hover around this, medium impact expected. So basically the yellow one just shows low impact expected. We don't have any business with that. But the one we have business with pretty much is just the medium impact expected and the high impact expected. So earlier today around 10 o'clock in the morning, Euro had a call CPI flash, whatever. But 1:30 today, we will be seeing the NFP. It is one of the most traded news in the world, and then it is something you might also want to take part of. Okay, now we can see non-farm employment change. That's what it means. So let's go to the right side of the chart of the screen, and then let's open for more details. Now right here you will see a lot of information that shows this and that, but the major one I want you to pay attention to is the usual effect. Okay, usual effect actually shows actual greater than forecast is good for currency. What that means is, since it is a USD currency, can you see that this is the section for currency, so you know which currency actually has the news. Okay, you see the time, the currency, the impact at which the news is, then the details, the actual, the forecast, and the previous, and the graph. We don't have any business with the graph. We only have business with the currency, the impact, the time, the details, the actual, the forecast, and the previous. That's what we have business with here. So now we have usual effect, actual greater than forecast is good for currency. What that means is, if the forecast, as they are saying here, is actually 106, okay, the result when the actual comes out, when the news comes out, is actually a figure, right? But that figure is crazy. Now when that figure comes out, it then gives you a particular number. Now if this number here, it is higher than this particular number here, it then gives you a very good reason for any currency that has USD as the later to sell. What that means is, if this particular figure comes out as 110k, and then what that means is gold will sell, XAU USD, GBP USD will sell, Euro JPY, Euro USD will sell, and all. But USD JPY will buy because USD has just gained strength. They told us here, actual greater than forecast is good for currency. So if actual is now lesser than forecast, then we should be able to see that the currency will be weak. Do you understand? It will not be good for the currency. And what that means is XAUSD will buy, GBP USD will buy, Euro USD will buy, but USD JPY will sell because the DXY itself, which is the dollar index, it's selling. It is losing its value. Okay. And as you all know, it is currently at an all-time high. Okay, it's not even at an all-time high. Pretty much, it is at the high of like it has not been. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. Let's check DXY here on trading view. So if you come down here to trading view, I'm looking out for a long though. I have an analysis of gold that's showing me for a long. But let's check out the DXY. Now you can see the DXY as it is pushing to the upside so far. It has been pushing to the upside, and right now it's currently at a significant resistance point. Can you see that? So let's remove all this. Let's remove all this. Good. Now you can see it is currently at the resistance point, and so on and so forth. Yeah, but we can see it has been pushing to the upside so far, so good. And then if it's going to continue pushing to the upside, no problem. But we need to get this information first before we make our decision. Now this information comes out, and in microseconds or in seconds, the market moves. So if you are not fast enough, if you don't know how to maximize this, if you don't have multiple screens, you might not be able to trade NFP, or if you don't have access to signals groups that can actually help you, you cannot trade NFP effectively because it comes out in seconds and the market reacts in seconds. Does that make sense? So if you don't have good network, you can't do this. You can't trade NFP or any of the news. Okay, so it's actually three news here: average hourly earnings, non-farm payroll, then the unemployment rates, and all. Everything will be released at the same time, 1:30 p.m. and that 1:30 p.m. will be the deciding factor for a lot of things as regards the current state of of the market. Now we could see here at the right top corner where we see a hot story where we have Trump raises tariff of Canada from 25% to 35%. So if that has actually happened, what do you think has happened to USD CAD? We could see that USD CAD would actually have to keep buying. It is easy because Trump has actually carried the value for the dollar higher than the CAD. So most people would want to be interested in investing their money in the dollar than the Canadian dollar. So it's pretty much that easy. You can see how aggressive that pushing to the upside as well. So it is just easy, guys. You just have to be able to read these things the way it is. So Trump sets 10% of trading partners. White House, Trump will modify certain countries' tariff rates before midnight, and so on and so forth. And all this was 11 hours ago. So if you want to pay attention to news, fundamentals, this is my go-to site for that. And then if you are new to this channel, make sure you go ahead and hit the subscribe button and then like this video, share with your friends, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Peace.